The year is 636 AD. Two mighty empires collide on the dusty plains of Yarmouk, near the present-day borders of Syria, Jordan, and Israel. The Byzantine Empire, heir to Roman might, faces a new challenger, the rapidly expanding Muslim Arab forces. The Byzantines, under the Emperor Heraclius, still command a powerful army, hardened by decades of war with the Persians. The Muslims, inspired by their new faith and led by brilliant generals, are driven by a fervor that shocks their enemies. The stage is set for a battle that will decide the fate of the Levant and reverberate through history. The Battle of Yarmouk wasn't just a clash of armies, it was a clash of civilizations. The Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, represented the power of the old Roman world, steeped in Christian tradition and Greco-Roman culture. The Muslim Arabs emerging from the Arabian Peninsula brought with them a new faith, Islam, and a dynamic energy that challenged the established order. This clash of cultures and religions heightened the stakes of the battle, making Yarmouk a pivotal moment in the history of the Middle East and the Mediterranean. The outcome of this epic confrontation would determine the future of the region for centuries to come. Would the Byzantines, with their centuries-old military tradition, prevail? Or would the young and ambitious Muslim forces, fueled by their faith and the promise of conquest, sweep aside the old order? Yarmouk held the answer, and the world watched as these two powerful forces prepared for a confrontation that would reshape the political and religious landscape of the Middle East. The Muslim conquests did not begin at Yarmouk. In the early 7th century, under the Prophet Muhammad and his immediate successors, Islam had spread rapidly throughout the Arabian Peninsula. This expansion continued under the Rashidun Caliphate, with victories against the Sasanian Empire in Persia and the Byzantine Empire in Syria and Egypt. The Sasanian Empire, weakened by years of war with the Byzantines, crumbled under the pressure of the Muslim advance. By 636 AD, the Muslim armies had conquered much of Persia and Mesopotamia, turning their attention toward the Byzantine provinces in the Levant. The Byzantine Empire, though also weakened by constant warfare, was still a formidable power. Emperor Heraclius, after a series of grueling campaigns, had finally defeated the Persians in 628 AD, recovering the provinces they had lost. However, this victory came at a cost. The Byzantine army was exhausted and its treasury depleted. Moreover, the empire was beset by internal divisions, particularly religious disputes that hampered its ability to present a united front against the new threat from the east. The Muslim conquest of Syria and Palestine was remarkably swift. Within a few years of the Prophet Muhammad's death, Muslim armies had captured key cities like Damascus, Jerusalem, and Antioch. The speed and ferocity of the Muslim advance took the Byzantines by surprise. They were accustomed to fighting conventional wars against other empires, not against a highly motivated enemy fighting for faith and driven by the promise of booty and glory. The loss of these vital provinces alarmed Heraclius. Not only were these lands strategically important, but they also represented a significant loss of revenue and manpower. The emperor realized that he had to act decisively to stop the Muslim advance. He assembled a large army, intending to drive the Muslims back into the Arabian desert and reassert Byzantine dominance in the region. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of the Levant. The clash at Yarmouk pitted two formidable military leaders against each other. Leading the Muslim forces was Khalid ibn al-Walid, a brilliant strategist and a master of cavalry warfare. Known as the Sword of God, Khalid had earned a fearsome reputation for his military prowess in earlier campaigns. He was renowned for his ability to adapt to changing circumstances on the battlefield, often making daring maneuvers that caught his enemies off guard. His charismatic leadership and unwavering faith in the Muslim cause inspired his troops to fight with exceptional courage and determination. On the Byzantine side stood Emperor Heraclius, a seasoned and capable ruler who had proven himself a shrewd strategist in his campaigns against the Persians. Heraclius was known for his tactical acumen and his understanding of logistics, crucial for maintaining a large army in the field. He had reformed the Byzantine army and achieved significant victories against the Persians, restoring the empire's lost territories. However, at Yarmouk, Heraclius faced a new kind of enemy, one that fought with a religious zeal and ferocity that his troops had never encountered before. Heraclius, confident in his own abilities and the strength of his army, believed that he could crush the Muslim forces and drive them back from whence they came. He had underestimated the strategic brilliance of Khalid ibn al-Walid and the fighting spirit of the Muslim army. The stage was set for a battle of wits and a test of strength between two of the most formidable military commanders of the 7th century. The clash between these two iconic figures transcended the tactical and strategic aspects of warfare. It represented a clash of two worlds, two empires, and two faiths vying for supremacy in the Middle East. The outcome of the battle at Yarmouk would depend not only on the skills of the armies but also on the leadership qualities of these two extraordinary men. The armies that converged on Yarmouk in the summer of 636 AD were a testament to the power and reach of both empires. The Byzantine army, estimated to be between 80,000 to 120,000 strong, was a formidable force. It comprised seasoned Byzantine troops from various parts of the empire, including elite heavy cavalry known as cataphracts, heavily armored and armed with lances and swords. In addition to their own forces, the Byzantines were joined by significant contingents of allied troops including Armenians, Christian Arabs and Ghassanids, bolstering their numbers and adding to the diversity of their fighting styles. The Muslim army, though smaller in number, estimated to be around 24,000 to 40,000 strong, was united by their faith and their belief in their destiny. The Muslim army was primarily composed of light cavalry and infantry. Their cavalry, lightly armored and highly mobile, was adept at hit-and-run tactics, harassing the enemy and disrupting their formations. The infantry, armed with swords, spears and bows, formed the backbone of the Muslim army, their discipline and tenacity making them a formidable fighting force. Despite facing a numerically superior enemy, the Muslim army had several advantages. Their unity of purpose, inspired by their faith and the leadership of Khalid ibn al-Walid, gave them a significant morale boost. The Muslim soldiers were accustomed to the harsh desert conditions, giving them an edge over the Byzantines who were less familiar with the terrain. Moreover, the Muslim army was highly mobile, their reliance on camels for logistics allowing them to move swiftly and outmaneuver their opponents. As the two armies faced each other across the battlefield, the tension was palpable. The fate of the Levant and perhaps the future of two empires hung in the balance. The clash at Yarmouk promised to be a bloody and decisive encounter. Section 5. The Dance of War Tactics and Maneuvers. The Battle of Yarmouk was not a single engagement but a series of clashes and maneuvers that unfolded over several days. Both sides fought with skill and determination, the battlefield echoing with the sounds of clashing steel, the thunder of hooves and the cries of warriors. The Byzantines, relying on their superior numbers and the weight of their armored cavalry, sought to break the Muslim lines with frontal assaults. They hoped to overwhelm the Muslim army with the sheer force of their attack, believing that their superior equipment and training would carry the day. The Muslims, aware of their numerical disadvantage, adopted a more fluid strategy. They used their cavalry to harass the Byzantine flanks and disrupt their formations, while their infantry held firm, forming a resilient defensive line that absorbed the brunt of the Byzantine attacks. Khalid ibn al-Walid, a master of maneuver warfare, skillfully deployed his troops, exploiting gaps in the Byzantine lines and launching counterattacks at opportune moments. One of the key features of the Muslim tactics was their effective use of the terrain. They chose their battlefield carefully, positioning their forces in a way that limited the effectiveness of the Byzantine cavalry charges. The Muslims also utilized the natural features of the landscape such as hills and ravines to their advantage, using them to conceal their movements and ambush their enemies. The first few days of the battle were marked by fierce fighting with no clear advantage for either side. The Byzantines, though they inflicted heavy casualties, were unable to break the Muslim lines. The Muslims, on the other hand, demonstrated their resilience and their ability to withstand the relentless Byzantine assaults. The tide of the battle was about to turn. Section 6. The Tide Turns. A decisive victory for the Muslims. As the battle raged, several factors began to tip the scales in favor of the Muslims. One crucial factor was the superior generalship of Khalid ibn al-Walid. Recognizing that the Byzantines were overconfident and overextended, Khalid devised a daring plan to encircle and destroy their army. He launched a surprise attack on the Byzantine camp, sowing confusion and panic in their ranks. The Byzantine army, already weary from days of fighting, began to crumble under the pressure of the Muslim onslaught. Their formations broke down, and their commanders lost control of their troops. The retreat, once it began, quickly turned into a rout. The Muslim cavalry, relentless in their pursuit, cut down the fleeing Byzantine soldiers, turning a tactical victory into a decisive triumph. Another crucial factor in the Muslim victory was the role of the Ghassanid Arab auxiliaries fighting on the Byzantine side. These Christian Arabs, sensing the shifting tides of the battle and perhaps questioning their allegiance to the Byzantines, abandoned their positions at a critical moment. This desertion created a gap in the Byzantine lines, which the Muslims exploited ruthlessly. The collapse of the Ghassanid contingent demoralized the remaining Byzantine forces, further contributing to their defeat. The final phase of the battle was a massacre. The Byzantine army, once a symbol of imperial might, was shattered. Thousands were killed on the battlefield, while many more drowned trying to escape across the Yarmouk River. The Byzantine defeat was catastrophic, marking a turning point in the history of the region. Section 7. The Aftermath, the Fall of Damascus, and Beyond. The Battle of Yarmouk had far-reaching consequences. The Byzantine Empire, already weakened by internal strife and years of warfare, never recovered from this catastrophic defeat. The loss of Syria and Palestine dealt a severe blow to the empire's prestige, its economy, and its ability to project power in the east. The road to Constantinople lay open, and the Muslims were poised to capitalize on their victory. In the immediate aftermath of the battle, the Muslim armies swept through the remaining Byzantine strongholds in Syria. Damascus, one of the most important cities in the region, fell to the Muslims within a year of the battle. With Damascus under their control, the Muslims had a strategic base from which to launch further conquests into Anatolia and North Africa. The Battle of Yarmouk also had a profound impact on the religious map of the Middle East. The Byzantine defeat paved the way for the rapid Islamization of the Levant. The region, once a heartland of Christianity, gradually adopted the faith of its new rulers. Churches were transformed into mosques, and Arabic became the dominant language of administration and culture. Yarmouk marked the beginning of the decline of Byzantine influence in the region and the rise of Islamic civilization. The speed and completeness of the Muslim victory at Yarmouk sent shockwaves throughout the world. The news of the Byzantine defeat reached as far as Persia and China, signaling the arrival of a new power on the world stage. The Battle of Yarmouk had ushered in a new era in the Middle East, one dominated by Islam and the Arab Empire. Section 8. The Long Shadow of Yarmouk, Reshaping the Middle East. The Battle of Yarmouk was more than just a military victory. It was a turning point in world history. It marked the end of Byzantine dominance in the Levant and the beginning of the Islamic conquest of the region. The battle had far-reaching consequences, shaping the political, religious, and cultural landscape of the Middle East for centuries to come. The Arab conquests that followed Yarmouk led to the establishment of a vast Muslim empire that stretched from Spain in the west to India in the east. This empire, ruled by the Umayyad and later the Abbasid caliphates, was a center of learning, culture, and trade. The Islamic Golden Age, which flourished from the 8th to the 13th centuries, witnessed a remarkable flowering of scientific, philosophical, and artistic achievements. The Battle of Yarmouk also had a significant impact on the development of Islamic military thinking. The Muslim victory, achieved against a numerically superior and technologically advanced enemy, demonstrated the effectiveness of their military tactics and the importance of factors such as morale, leadership, and adaptability on the battlefield. The lessons learned at Yarmouk would be applied in future Muslim conquests and would influence Islamic military strategy for centuries. The legacy of Yarmouk is still felt today. The battle is remembered as a pivotal moment in Islamic history, a symbol of Muslim unity and triumph against overwhelming odds. The battle also serves as a reminder of the complex interplay of factors that shape the course of history, from the decisions of individual leaders to the clash of cultures and the enduring power of faith. Section 9. Conclusion. Yarmouk's enduring significance. The Battle of Yarmouk stands as a testament to the transformative power of history. In the scorching heat of the Levantine desert, two empires clashed, their destinies intertwined in a battle that would reshape the course of civilization. The Byzantine defeat marked the end of an era, the fading light of the Roman world in the east. For the Muslims, Yarmouk was a triumphant dawn, the beginning of an expansion that would spread their faith and culture across vast swaths of the globe. The battle's significance extends far beyond its immediate military outcome. Yarmouk serves as a reminder of the enduring impact of human decisions, the ripple effects of conflict, and the enduring power of ideas to shape the course of history. The clash of empires at Yarmouk continues to resonate in the 21st century, a reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the long shadow that the past casts upon the present. More than just a historical event, Yarmouk offers valuable insights into the dynamics of conflict, the rise and fall of empires, and the transformative power of faith. As we grapple with the complexities of our own time, understanding the lessons of Yarmouk can provide us with a deeper appreciation for the forces that have shaped our world and the enduring legacies of the past.